Good afternoon, everyone. Right, those of you who came for a look around Go Outdoors with me a couple of days ago will know that I came away with another tent. I've been looking for the elusive, easy to put up, quick to put up, easy to take down for one night away sort of tent. I got one last year, which I've reviewed. You can find that in my playlists. And it is brilliant. It's one that sort of clicks out, rods click into place, it's quick, it's easy to put up, it's brilliant, but I'm getting old, getting stiff, and it's quite low down. I sort of crawl into it, and to come out and use the loo at night and things, have to crawl out over the dogs. So although it is excellent, I'm still looking for something full height. And I had a browse around Go Outdoors, and this caught my eye. So this is the Eurohike teepee tent. Supposedly 4-man. I'm dubious about that, but we'll have a look. If it will take a proper bed for me, so I'm not on the floor, ideally a camp bed, that would be great. I can stand up to get dressed and stand up to walk outside, and even better, if I could put the loo in it overnight, that would be just excellent. But I like the look of it. I went inside the one they had on display. I think we need to get it out and take a little look. Quick disclaimer, I usually review my tents in the garden first, don't I? I always say that, recommend it to everyone. Get everything out. Check you've got everything you want and need, so that if you need to take it back to where you bought it from, you can. I've gone a little bit sort of awry from that. I haven't been able to get it out in the garden and video it, because mainly sort of quite a lot of noise from the neighbours, which is entirely up to them, it's their garden. And then the grass was too damp with dew this morning when I planned to do it. So what I've done is I have put that other tent in the car as well. So if I really had something missing or this wasn't going to work, I have another option. So it's not the end of the world. And when I haven't come too far from home, I'm only just over an hour away in Cornwall, and there is a Go Outdoors not too far away. So if I did need to return it, I could. What I've also brought is Merlin's pen from in the house, which stops him jumping on the cat sofa and annoying them. And actually, it's just perfect there, isn't it? So they're happy chilling. They've had a swim in the lake. We stopped at friends on the way. They've had a lovely swim in the lake with their dogs. They can chill out while we get a tent up. Straight away, even from brand new, it is pretty crammed in this bag. And the bag is quite flimsy, as I'd expect. I paid £75 for this one. They're marketed at about £225. Don't know that they've ever been that price. You know what it's like with a tent sometimes. But I would look at being prepared to use another bag once you've had it out. Something that's a bit of a modern thing, but I really quite like it, is the instructions for pitching and care of your tent are all printed on the bag. So even if I did switch to using a different bag, I would keep this one with it, so that you've got the instructions there. Okay, select your site, ideally smooth ground. Well, this is pretty smooth, it's a lovely pitch here. Lay the fly sheet on the ground with the door facing away from the prevailing wind. Hammer in a few pegs. Ensure the door is zipped closed. I've got a bag with poles in. Peg bag. The pegs are as you'd expect. Not flimsy actually, they're not too bad, but I think I probably will swap for my own. All laid out, looking good. Let's get a few pegs in. It is a completely still day here, so I can skip the putting a few pegs in and go straight to C, lay the fly sheets out on the ground and pull all corners out, then peg each corner. This is a really nice, pleasant surprise. All the pegging points have either already got D-ring on or got elastics on, which for something of a lower price range really is nice. Okay, I've possibly put the door the wrong way. In fact, I now realise I have put the door the wrong way. I think what I was opening around there was a vent. Am I worried enough to turn it around? Probably not. let's carry on. I'm at Canna Farm campsite in Devon, and the owner's just been over to say hi, which was lovely. But in that few minutes while we were saying hi, I thought, no, I can't cope, so I have turned it round and brought the door to face this way now. So let's see if we can get the pole in. The pole is super easy to fix together. It's actually wire inside, and that is slotting into place really nice and easy. And I then have a foot here for the pole to go in so that it doesn't damage the teepee. I have just come back again to double check. Once pegged out, go inside the tent with the support pole, insert the top end of the pole, roof apex, then slide the base into the support pole into the reinforced square in the middle of the ground sheet. Right, I was expecting something slightly more definitive for the top of the pole, but I think I have found it. So that is the apex. It is reinforced on the inside. That's what threw me slightly, but we've got a hook there for a light right in the middle where I was thinking I'd put the pole. But let's do this and see how it looks. Okay, that was really very easy. I might have to move it over slightly once it's in place. It's just taking me a little bit of sliding to pop this onto this reinforced section here. Okay, I've wiggled the pole around slightly at the top. That's it. We're up. That really was easy. So what I'm going to do now is finish off tightening and pegging out, and then get the guide ropes out. And it does say the guidelines have to be used every use, and that makes perfect sense, because otherwise it would be a little bit vulnerable. I'm still not convinced I'm quite in the right place at the top there. That reinforced section, let's have a look. Yeah, I think I just need to move it over ever so slightly. But you can see we've got vents there. I'll open those up. But again, I probably should have opened those before I put the tent up, because it's going to be a bit tricky to do now. That's much better. It just took a wiggle into place, and it now seems to be sitting much more where I want. I've been able to do this vent from stood inside. So that is one to remember. The other vent you really want to do before you put it up, and that is now far more central. Yeah, it looks a whole lot better. Right, let's finish pegging out. Well, that's it. That's our little teepee up. I'm really pretty impressed. Obviously it took me a bit longer to do today because I had to unravel all the guys that were knotted up from selling. Get them correct lengths, but most I'll do is tie one knot in them in future, so that won't take nearly as long. Didn't take long. Looks good. We've got a couple of extra vents here. Now we're not hot at the moment, so I'm going to try not using them tonight. But it's nice to know that they're there should we want them, and they zip open and look as if you use the guys to hold them out. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. So I'm going to start getting things inside, and then we'll see how it looks set up. Okay, that is us all set up for the night. It's quite a decent sized camping bed, fits in nicely. I've pulled it just a bit away from the edge towards the pole just to give a little bit more width. Plenty of room for the dogs. My little loo will go in there, and there's still loads of room for my bag of clothes, etc. Shoes down here. That is plenty of room, but bearing in mind it is supposed to be a 4-man. Handy pockets around the edge, always useful for torches and things, and there is somewhere to hang my lantern up there. Midges are already out, so very handy. And yeah, I'm really pleased so far. I think what I'm going to do is I'll have a little look at it later on with the lantern up, and then I'll spend the night and see what we think in the morning. Good evening, everyone. Right, I'm sat in here all cosy. As I predicted, the lamp doesn't hang straight because it can't with the pole in centre, but I don't think it would take much, a shoelace, bootlace and a carabiner, and I could easily have that hanging down a lot better, but it does the job. Really is lovely and cosy in here. Plenty of room for me, the bed, the dogs. I brought my little Lou in for the night. Obviously not everyone needs to do that. Closed the fly door, so the dogs are well and truly in, but that is all you've got. So if you've got a determined dog, do bear that in mind, whereas mine will thankfully respect that. I am sat here holding dog chews. I've given them one each, and that's where I'm missing compared to my big tent, anything high up pockets wise. But I've got to remember this isn't instead of my big tent, this is instead of the little sort of fold out one. So that's not a problem. Treat's going to pocket in my bag and we're all sorted. And actually the bed's got a pocket in, which is ideal for my Kindle and charger and things. So I think all we do now is spend a night in here and see how it goes. Alright guys. Okay, well night night everyone. We'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning everyone. I've had a very good night's sleep. So have the dogs. Plenty of room in here. Very warm. Really warm. Lovely. Comfy. It is lighter than I'm used to. I'm used to blackout. So that's something to bear in mind, and it's why it would only be probably a night or two for me in this one. I certainly wouldn't be going back to bed at lunchtime like I do when I'm on my long holidays and I get up early, go back, have a sleep, and then stay out late. But again, that's not why I've bought this. Yeah, very warm. The only other thing, bearing in mind it's only one room, even my tiniest tents usually have somewhere outside covered to put a pair of boots. There's nothing like that in here. So I would probably bring a pair of Crocs next time and leave the boots in the car. But yeah, still impressed with that. We're going to head out for the day. We'll catch up later. Well, that's our second night in a teepee tent. Very comfortable, very warm, particularly considering there's some ice on the windscreen this morning. Yeah, really enjoying it still. It's definitely going to be one that's staying with me. For a night or two away, it is absolutely perfect. Be fine for longer, to be completely honest. The outside's dry because we haven't got any moisture out there today, but there is quite a bit of condensation inside. So it will take a bit to dry this morning before I pack it away. But then again, if it isn't fully dry, I know it won't take long to pick up in the garden at home to let it dry out. So packing it away is not going to be a problem. I'm off to take a shower and then I will start getting packing away and we'll see whether it fits back into its bag. As I'm packing away, it's becoming more apparent that being single skinned, the condensation is more than I'm used to. And okay, I'd usually go with the general rule, you just don't have anything up against the sides of the tent. But being the shape and size it is, if I want a camp bed in here, I don't have any other options really. I did start with this on an angle. You can just about get it away from the sides, but the sleeping bag wasn't. So you can see I will have to get the sleeping bag out and air it when I get home. Doesn't stop me liking the tent, just means got to bear in mind really how you set out. And there's absolutely no way you'd get 4 people in here without being up against the sides. I think even one and a couple of children would be pushing it. I've got a tent that's fully dry on the outside, saturated on the inside. So the answer could easily be next time, but I just need all of these vents open. Let's close that one down while I'm mentioning them. I've been very comfortable in it, very impressed. For drying time I'll just take into consideration. Let's see how long it takes to take it down. Very quick to get it down to that stage. It really is somewhere in between my two tents, which is probably exactly what I needed. So the small one it lives in the car, it's for an emergency. If I need a night away somewhere, it's there. But it's not the most comfortable. I can't have a full-size bed in it. But it is super quick to put up and put down. And dries so quickly. This one, I've got the space in it. I can put up a full bed. The dogs and I can be really comfortable, but I've got to be aware it doesn't dry as quickly and just takes that bit longer to put up and put down, but still takes nowhere near as long as obviously the big Berghaus air tent that I've got. And actually looking at it like that, whereas I was thinking I was going to have to peg it out again when I get home, I could easily put 6 pegs around the edge and put a pole in the middle and leave it open. But similarly, I'm thinking that door open, turned upside down, that's going to dry nicely on my washing line, which would be really handy. I've chucked the guy ropes all into the middle, folded in half, and then folded in half again. And you'd often tell by placing the bag on, that looks like it should work. So we'll roll that up now and see what happens. My cunning plan didn't quite work. It hasn't gone back in quite how I'd have liked it. Obviously needed another fold and a bit more air out. I'm not going to hassle myself over that right now, because as I've said, it's coming straight back out when I get home to be dried. And as I said right at the start, being a cheaper bag, smaller bag, I will probably pop it in something a little bit larger anyway. But there we go, verdict on the Eurohike teepee. Really nice, easy to put up, simple tent. Plenty of room for one person and 2 dogs, plenty of room for 2 people. 4-man, you're going to end up very damp in the morning with the condensation around the edges. That is really the main downside. Being a single skinned, it's not something I've used for a long time. I'd forgotten how damp inside they get. I will try opening up the other 2 vents, that might well help. But I don't know, if in all honesty, whether it would actually be enough. I'll give it a go next time. But overall, I'm very pleased with Eurohike teepee tent. I will be using it again. And yeah, it packs up smaller actually than the little tent I've got. I'm impressed. I'd definitely say give it a go. Obviously I haven't seen it in bad weather. It was windy yesterday. We saw those tents at the Cornwall show, showing just how windy it was. And I got back here and it was absolutely fine. Didn't look at all as though it was going to move. And after all, the teepee design has been used for so long for that reason. I can't tell you whether it's really waterproof because we haven't had any rain. But looking at the skin on the outside and how quickly it dried when it got damp yesterday, I don't see any reason at all why it wouldn't be waterproof. So that's my final verdict. Take care everyone, and we'll see you all soon.